worked on by the Commission on Revenue Allocation, a constitutional body.
Chair, I know that we have got potential, maybe not within the range of 2.2 billion, but I'm aware that of some revenue streams that we can quickly bring on board. And maybe I'll also be asking this Senate to help us in actualizing some of them. Chair, you know we are a border county. And just like being a border county, if you look at it, what happens in Mombasa in terms of export, nearly 70% of it transits through Busia here to East and Central Africa. But Chair, in terms of the county itself, because of that unique position that we are in as a border county, you will find that we are not truly participating in that kind of economy. Either because of some legal issues, like we used to collect some money from transiting trailers. But because of so many other factors, like the one-point border stop, the international treaties, that was stopped. And currently, through the Assembly, we try to pass an act that would allow us to collect some of those revenue streams, but we hit a headwind when we were told to stop it until we do some further consultations, and that was the entry fee for trailers. And if you look, like we have got almost 1,000, or is it 2,000 or 3,000? 1,800 trailers that transit here per day. Even if you do at 500 or 1,000 that had been proposed, then you will find that that will be giving us a very significant revenue. So we are still in the process, and Chair, during the leadership meeting, I pleaded through your speaker that maybe we will need a little bit of support to even our county assembly to revisit that act and see how best, what amendments we can do that may not be in conflict with what was being said, our international obligations. Because we had started collecting that time, I think, almost 1 million shillings per day. Was it? Yeah? When we were effecting that law, we had started collecting almost 1 million shillings per day. But when we stopped, then that just dried up. And that can be seen from our previous revenue stream. So that is one area. Another area we have been struggling with, Chair, is to come up with the infrastructure that can support making Busia logistics hub. And these are issues of trailer parks and all this. And these have been there. But either because of a lot of litigation issues that we have been having and land issues, we have been unable to actualize. Even the one where we have tried to go into public-private partnerships, you will find that we have got matters in court. So it even makes investors very shy. So that has not been done. And I'm sure if you'll have opportunity, you'll be visiting one in Mundika to see what the investor had put in, and then he had to go slow because of court issues. So we also needed to be very clear on some of those things. So those are direct revenue streams. Secondly, Chair, we were to collect quite a bit of cess, especially from the sugar sector, the sugarcane sector. But we're all aware of what has been happening in that sector, the challenges it has been facing. But now it is being revamped, and I think from our records, there's a bit of improvement, if I'm not mistaken, in that area of sugarcane cess sector. So because that's also another major potential area. Chair, another one is that we have come up with a program to try and alleviate poverty also in this area. If you look at our poverty index, it has been one of the highest, but compared to our potential, we should not be in that kind of category. Now, what we are doing is trying to mainstream a lot of our people into the cash economy, because that is the only time then they can be able, you know, to pay some form of taxes. And this we are doing through some programs that you'll be able to see, you know, revamping the cooperative societies that were the engines of development. If you look at it, the cotton industry collapsed here. That was the main cash crop. We are looking at some of our edible oil crops like groundnuts, that can really not only just contribute to the country's economy, but in the process help us also raise some of those resources. And lastly, Chair, maybe if you allow me so that I don't lose my theme, is recently we were able to be incorporated in the signing of the larger Busia metropolis. That is between Busia, Kenya and Busia, Uganda. Because what we do this side, if the Ugandan side nothing is happening, then you will find there is no synergy. And even what is happening in Mombasa. If we're improving efficiencies in the ports of Mombasa and the exit point in terms of the infrastructure here in Busia is not okay, then we are not able to reap the full benefit. So I tend to believe the signing of that MOU on the larger Busia metropolis is going to open up the infrastructure and the potential of the service industry in this area. So in short, just share, maybe that's the kind of issue I can look at, because when we talk about this 2.2 billion, and as you said, if we leave out the health sector, then we are saying which ones should be the mainstream. The mainstream is just our potential as a border county. Thank you, Chair.
So let's move from the global to the specific, guided by the receiver of revenue report.
Yes. And Chair, just before you do that, I wanted to understand from the COB, when they set this target of 2.2 billion, do we say as a committee have visibility on the individual revenue streams that would then make up that 2.2? It would be a significant guide to the entity on where the potential actually is.
Ibio? Are the parameters listed? Because from my experience, CRA does not do potential on the basis of additional novel taxes. It's on the basis of taxes that county governments are allowed by law to levy.
Yeah, so Chair, for instance,
so it's beyond the what the governor is explaining.
If the exercise that you are about to embark on, it would have been extremely useful if you had that line by line for CRA, then we look at...
Yes. Yeah, I think I get your point. But let's bring the governor back to the specifics, because this exercise is guided by records. So, Governor, having said all that and all the initiatives you're taking, go to your statement of receipts and disbursements. How then do you explain that fiscal planning and development has dropped by 50%? Revenue from fiscal planning and development.
Chair, maybe...
The statement of the Auditor General, there is a...
The receiver of revenue statement, your statement of receipts and disbursements for the year ended 30th June 2024.
Which are it?
It is immediately after page 9 of that report.
You have a statement there that shows your own source revenue streams, and if you go down to fiscal planning and development, that is 10, not 10.
Yes.
You collected 4.9 million prior year, and that year you collected 2.5 million. Where did 2.4 million go? Because if you are doing all those things you are saying, then there should be natural growth. Can someone help the governor to be?
Yes, I'm trying to talk to
Can you allow the governor to assess the data?
I'm talking to Chief Officer in charge just to explain to me.
You see, Governor, that exercise you are conducting now, you should already have done it, because you should have visibility on the revenue performance every financial year.
Yes.
So if you are brought numbers that show a 50% decline, this is in the 2023-2024 financial year, you should have already asked for an explanation from your chief officer. You can't do that exercise now. Because if you are seeing these numbers for the first time with us here,
No, Chair, I've
Very
seen,
unfortunate.
no, I've seen some of these numbers, but Chair, maybe the details, I just need them to jog my memory.
When you saw them, you didn't ask them.
Yeah. Huh?
When you saw those numbers for the first time, you are not
No,
as
I'm
shocked as
just
the
trying
chair
to
is.
jog my mind, Chair.
Okay, Governor.
Jog my memory because I.
Yeah. Because you gave the global picture as a CEO. Now we want to go to specifics so that we are able to tell whether your global vision is accompanied by action.
Chair.
A little bit of time to check.
No, Chair. If the governor feels that he might not be able to respond adequately,
Yes.
he can pass it on to the chief officer to fast track the process.
That's what I'm trying to.
Yeah,
Chair.
but you are holding a meeting within a meeting, which is not.
Okay, who has the answers? Because remember, this is money collected from the residents of Busia. And if the money collected from residents of Busia cannot be accounted for, then we are not sure about the money that comes from the consolidated fund.
Chair, and the governor should be aware that he's on oath. So if the governor is not ready, he can also tell us so that we take a view. Because if he's holding a meeting within a meeting, or if he thinks that the answers are with the chief officer, and then chief officer should take the oath. Or we interrogate any problem or through the oath of the governor.
Okay, members, since today we are sitting in Busia, we can extend a little bit of clemency to the governor of Busia. But that does not absolve you. You must explain to us why there is a drop.
I'm going to do that once I get, maybe just give me a little bit of time. As we move to another matter, then we can revisit.
Okay, the second matter, honorable members, the second matter, go to the line on parking fees. Governor, note 5. Your parking fees have reduced from 31 million to 29 million. You have given us your global picture, the measures you're taking. How then are we seeing a drop in parking fees? Remember, this is money collected from the people of Busia. Are we collecting and pocketing money? Because these are the symptoms.
Chair,
Senator Wambua?
Chair, you have said that we should extend a bit of our clemency to the governor, which is fine, we'll be guided by your direction. My only fear,
Senator Wambua?
my only fear, Chair, is that from the kind of consultation that I'm seeing happening there is a likelihood that the governor is perhaps seeing these figures for the first time. Because the questions that they're asking themselves and the questions that we're asking, we are all asking the same questions. We're asking them what happened, and the governor is asking his people what happened. So, Chair, that clemency is fine, but please give us guidance on how to deal with it.
Okay, clemency does not mean shielding the governor. He still has to answer. Governor, you have an answer to
Chair,
that
let
line?
me ask my former CEC Finance to answer because she was there when this was happening.
Thank you, Chair. I would want to respond on that issue of reduction in the parking fee because, Chair, before we had a place which we were using as parking, the parking place at the border called One Stop Border. So before we were collecting fee of parking fees from there, but when the KRA took over that place, we could now not use it as the parking place, and therefore the people of trucks could not pay the parking fee because they were no longer using that place.
Okay, hold on to that. Go to note 8, hospital fees, from 153 million to 119 million. Why are you handing back the microphone? Oh, that one is not yours. Okay, Governor, it's been brought back to you. Hospital fees has dropped from 153 million to 119 million.
Chair, we have had a lot of industrial unrest in the county here. And this has really affected our service delivery in the health sector. And is one area that we have been trying to address, some of them even historical issues of arrears, some of them issues of promotion, the normal challenges that we are having in the health sector. So that year, we have had quite a bit of challenges in that area.
Is that, Governor, you know, the good thing is that you have been in Parliament.
Yes.
You've been in Cabinet.
Yes.
And you have sat in some of these committees. If a question is put to you on a matter that involves figures, the explanation should also be quantitative, not qualitative.
Okay.
Because if that were to be the case, then you would then come and demonstrate to us, even from the notes, how that happened. Now, for us to be asking these questions, and for you to be asking these questions from your officer,
Yes.
could tell you that there could be something that you need to improve when it comes to your the governance arrangements around revenue. The officer you had referred to, the one who has just answered the last question, what is their role?
That was the Chief Officer Finance before. Sorry, CDC Finance before, and I think they were aware of the incidences that were happening. That's why she told me that she's aware of what happened at that time. But she's no longer the CC Finance. No,
I don't know, Senator Chirarke, you had made some observation with regards to that. Please proceed.
Yeah, I think it casts the integrity of the signing off of these statements of disbursement, especially on county own source revenue. Because if you are saying Topista Naiti Wanyama was the CC Finance, how comes she was the county receiver of revenue, contravening Public Finance and Management Act Section 157? Why was she Honorable Topista Naita Wanyama was county receiver of revenue, contravening Section 157 and its regulations of the PMF Act? So, and the law is very clear, Governor. Would that be the reason that you moved her?
Chair.
No, perhaps this question, I don't want the officer to be the one responding.
Yes.
I want the governor
yes,
to tell us who was your receiver of revenue in this financial year.
Chair, I feel like we will lose the parking thing. There's an explanation there that they can complete, then we move to the designated receiver of revenue. Because if you look at note 5 that explains the parking fees, the officer who responded, it makes sense when you say once the trailer park was closed, 2022-2023, you had 26 million from the trailer park fees, and it dropped to 3.49 million. Now, explain to me how the one for bus park moved from 2 million to 20 million. What special magic did you play?
Governor?
Did you build new bus parks? Was there a new road that was opened through Busia to I don't know where that more buses were parked? What is the explanation for that? For the reverse growth in revenue?
By how many percent?
Through the chair, I think one of the measures that we took when we took over was to try and identify all the revenue collection points and the number of collection points that we introduced along the ways that initially we were not collecting. That's what enabled us to be able to...
Are you looking at the numbers that Senator Sifuna cited? Are you looking at that note?
Note 5.
So that you know what you're responding to? We don't want theories. This is an exercise that is guided by evidence.
Yeah, because to me, Chair, the explanation on ceding the collection of the trailer parks to KRA would demonstrate or explain why it moves from 26 million to 3 million. Now, with the same logic, what did you do to move your bus park from 2 million to 20 million?
That's 18 million.
What is the explanation?
Thank you, Chair. When we came in, you can see overall the revenue from 22-23 to 23-24 improved. So what happened, that revenue, it was on an improved basis. We combined the parking, the bus parking with the small car, the single vehicle parking. We combined them together, and there is when the auditors came, they corrected us that we should separate those two revenue streams. So we separated, but by then we just improved it, combined with the car parking that improved that from the previous one. And that is the reason why overall the revenue increased.
Yeah.
Senator Wambua?
I've totally lost me.
Chair. Yeah.
No, that one will deal with, that one will come. Senator Wambua?
Chair, I don't know about Senator Sifuna, but I feel that question has been responded to because the question was very direct. An improvement from 2 million to 20 million. Now, the reference you're making is even a very erroneous reference because you're saying overall there was an improvement year to year. But when you look at the improvement they're talking about, is less than 2 million. One is 355 for 2022-23, and the other one is 357. I mean, the very marginal improvement. The question that Senator Sifuna is asking is this jump from 2 million to 20 million. Why is it so difficult to respond to that?
Governor, before we get back to Senator Cherargei, because there's an attempt to, there are many statements made on parking fees, statements made on hospital fees, none made on fiscal planning fees, because fiscal planning fees, nothing has been offered so far. Yeah. And the question is, assuming, Governor, assuming Madam Wanyama was to move to Kisumu or another county and she was not in the room, who else would be able to explain these numbers? Why are they not making an attempt? Because it now sounds personalized.
It's not personalized. I think maybe just being part of the team, and you can see she's the one who signed this document. She may be having a better institutional memory.
Yeah,
maybe some of them.
We are coming to that.
Yes.
We are coming to that. Any attempt to explain fiscal planning drop? Because fiscal planning, we know what happens in counties, is that your officers, they move around, they collect money from developers, and then that money never gets to the county. You know, theft is theft, but there's usually a feeling that when you steal from your constituents, it's a bigger theft than when you're stealing from Nairobi. Lakini yote ni wizi.
Chair, I think something is very interesting.
Senator Gata?
Because it seems that we are actually seeing the same document at the same time. The way we are seeing documents the same way that the entire team is seeing the same document. I don't know whether they are prepared for the team, for the committee. Because nobody seems to have any answer to any of the questions that have been posed around.
So Governor, because I said we are in your county, it's not that I fear you lock us in here, but even though you have that reputation, but but I think that's off the record.
I think Chair, Senator Sifuna is
give
a
us
witness.
explanations.
Chair, Senator Sifuna is a witness to such. So
No, that's on a very light note. I think let's come back.
Chair, I can confirm that the last time I was in Busia, we had a very good time in Funyula. There was a big bash and we all left.
Thank you.
So I don't know what Cherargei is talking about.
Now, tell us, Governor, what is happening in physical planning and development? This is a clear revenue stream. This one you can't tell us about KRA, about what. These ones, people building plan approvals, small things that your officers go around checking. If you are building without an approval, they shut you down. How can it drop? Someone is stealing from the people of Busia. This cannot be industrial action by nurses. This, I think you have exhausted your list of excuses.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Chair, before he
Senator
goes.
Wambua?
Before he goes. You know, Chair, there's a question that, that you always ask when we are beginning these interrogations. I hear you asking our Secretariat whether they receive these documents and they are ready to engage. I hear you asking the auditors whether they are ready to engage. Chair, is it time that we begin asking the entities if they are ready to engage? Because clearly there is a problem. Clearly there is a problem.
Honorable Chair, on the issue of physical planning,
Please, for Hansard purposes, name and designation.
Wanjala Vincent, Chief Officer Lands, Survey and Housing.
Proceed.
The issue of physical planning is not a constant factor in collection. It depends on other factors in the economy, as availability of disposable income of the communities around. So when people have easily available disposable income, many of them will
That is
construct.
a lecture in economics. Can you address yourself to that drop
So when-
of 2.4 million?
Our collection as in the Department of Physical Planning, we collect from those ones who have come to approve their plans. So that year, the number of those ones coming for approvals had reduced. And so explains.
So they come, you don't go out to enforce.
We
You
also
have
go to
enforcement
enforce,
officers.
but when you don't find them in the field constructing, there's nobody who can come and comply.
What was so unique with that year? What was happening in Busia in that year that people are not constructing?
We are feeling like their disposable income was lower.
But that would reflect generally across the board, because on-source revenue is a reflection of economic activity within an entity. That is a story. That is not an explanation. I think let's come back, because time, we must take a decision. My colleagues are asking whether the county is prepared, but I think there was adequate notice. We must proceed with this exercise, as painful as it is. Senator Cherargei has raised a very important question, which we must address. Who was your receiver of revenue during that period? Because this is a report of the receiver of revenue.
Chair is CC Finance, and maybe she can explain herself.
Does it need I don't think it needs an explanation.
Yes.
What explanation would be required if this is a report of the receiver of revenue? CC, what do you want to explain?
What I want to explain, Chair, with your permission, is that when you look at that section 157, and if someone can read for us, it indicates that the CC Finance will designate persons, more than one person. And in that financial year, I designated more than 10 receivers of revenue.
Are you talking about receivers or collectors?
No, on the issue he has mentioned on how I...
What are you responding to?
Why I signed that document, receive of revenue document, instead of receive of revenue.
Was there a receiver of revenue away from you?
Many of them, as the section indicates.
What does that section say of the PFM Act? Does it talk of receivers of revenue or a receiver of revenue?
And if you allow me
Looking
to...
at the report of the receiver of revenue for Busia County Executive.
Not receive.
Collectors can be many,
Yes.
but the receiver is one.
Yes, and we are indicating the receiver of revenue, chairman, because from the statement, if you read it, indicates that CC Finance shall, in writing, designate persons, and therefore that report refers to received revenue from different receivers of revenue, and me being in charge of them, I signed on behalf of
So who are
them.
the receivers, even if we are to go with that argument, who are the receivers of revenue that you designated?
The chief officers in different departments.
Were they receivers or collectors?
They were receivers and they are allowed to appoint the collectors of revenue.
Now, that is your interpretation. Legal?
It can be read.
Well, you are not going to direct us. Legal, please read for us
Chair,
the section.
And Chair, I think I thought this county governor is better in English than where I come from. I thought there is a difference between may or shall. I thought shall is obligatory. So I think at some point your CC might have to take an oath, because the law is very clear, and that is why I asked specifically. So there is the aspect of collectors of revenue and receiver of revenue. Maybe, Chair, with your indulgence, maybe Malcolm, our legal counsel, can read through, I think, section 157.
Clerk?
Yes, Chair. Section 157 states that the County Executive Committee member for Finance shall in writing designate persons to be responsible for collecting, receiving and accounting for such county
If you
government.
can repeat, the governor was consulting through the chair. Can you read again? I think the county attorney in future look for time to advise the governor, not in our meeting. Thank you, Chair.
Yes. Section 157, the County Executive Committee member for Finance shall in writing designate persons to be responsible for collecting and receiving and accounting for such county government revenue as the County Executive Committee for Finance may specify in the letters of designation. Subsection 2, a receiver of county government revenue is responsible to the County Executive Committee member for Finance for ensuring that the revenue for which the receiver is responsible is collected or recovered and is accounted for. Through the chair, section 158 it states that a receiver of subsection 1, a receiver of revenue for a county government may authorize any public officer employed by that county government or any of its entities to be a collector of revenue for the purpose of collecting revenue for that county government and remitting it to the receiver. Subsection 2, any other public officer other than a receiver of revenue or collector of revenue for a county government who collects revenue for that government shall no later than 3 days after receiving it deliver the revenue to a receiver or collector of revenue for that county government. Subsection 3, a receiver of revenue for a county government shall provide quarterly statements to the county treasury with copies to the National Treasury and the Commission of Revenue Allocation.
Now, there is also the regulations that are read alongside that. Collection of revenue, responsibility for revenue management, the responsibility of receivers of revenue. Now, because of time, Governor, you are consuming wrong advice. This is the 47th county that we are dealing with. Your CEC cannot purport to sign the receiver of revenue statement. All other counties have one receiver of revenue. The rest are collectors of revenue. The fact that the word persons has been used in that act does not legitimize the kind of chaos that your CEC is proposing. In fact, many of the counties that have succeeded in improving on-source revenue have established revenue boards. They have designated a receiver of revenue, and even the Assembly has processed legislation to give further effect to the PFM Act and PFM regulations. When your CEC is the one who signs as the receiver of revenue, it's like William Ruto signing for Attorney General because he's the appointing authority. That is utter chaos. And that is why we cannot make sense of this statement. Now, who then takes responsibility if you have multiple receivers of revenue? Where does the buck stop, Governor?
Chair, let me have our attorney maybe help us out in the way we understood this thing, so that if it's a matter of legality, then we can be guided.
Listen,
we can
Governor,
be guided.
You see, I'm trying to be very moderate in today's session because we have not just come to grill you, we have also come to share experiences from the other counties. That situation, and if your county attorney insists on it, it is wrong advice. It is a recipe for chaos. Because tell me, as CEO, if you have 20 receivers of revenue, who are you going to hold responsible for this report? You have been put in an embarrassing situation where you cannot explain movements. You have to refer to 10, 20 people to explain one page of a report. And that is why other counties have one receiver of revenue designated in writing by the CEC Finance. When the CEC Finance takes on the role of being the receiver of revenue, that is an indication that there's a criminal enterprise being run in that county, being coordinated and being led by the CEC Finance. And that is why they want to be the policymaker, they want to be the executor, they want to be the oversight, they want to be everything. They do not trust anybody else to come and see how revenue collection is being done. And Governor, and I'm not saying it is happening in Busia, We have seen it in other counties. That only happens to cover up theft.
Can I explain
Chair,
something,
allow us here to ventilate on
Can
that
I
issue.
clarify?
Okay, maybe you can get the submissions from the members first. And
Yeah,
then
let's ventilate on that issue, Chair. I want to understand from, no, not the governor, because the governor clearly just being misled. That's exactly what's happening, just being misled. I want to understand from the CC. Once the law designates a responsibility to you, and that responsibility is specific, you are told, appoint. What residue function do you have after the appointment? You've been told to appoint a receiver of revenue. What role in receiving revenue is left in your office? If that can be answered, I'll be very happy. I want to know, because the law is, she has read the law to us. She has been told to appoint in writing. So after you have appointed in writing, what role is left for you to execute in the office of the receiver of revenue?
Chair, in addition, so that the governor
Senator
can answer
Chaka.
both, there was wisdom in drafting of the Public Finance Management Act, the regulations and section specifically, was to provide for the oversight and governance structure in terms of revenue. And that is why the CCM Finance was given power to appoint the county receiver, so that it is easy for her or him to ensure oversight and governance structure in terms of receiver of revenue. So I don't know, and you know they say in law there is no excuse in ignorance of the law, that maxim. So the point I'm trying to make, Chair, is either the CCM misled the governor, or the governor allowed himself to be misled, or the governor ignored the advice. Because the law is very clear, Governor, that the CCM should, by the time, because these issues that have been raised on the issue of that has been collected under on-source revenue, where your revenue potential is more than 2 billion, but you are collecting 357, of course, inclusive of hospital, which we have passed the law on under FIF, should have been addressed, should have drawn a concern for you, that the CCM, Madam Topista Naiti Wanyama, was signing a county receiver of revenue. Yet she should be the one setting up the governance structures and appointing people. And the law is very clear, it says, shall. If it said may, we would have allowed her to get away with.
Thank you, Chair, if you allow me.
Governor?
Yeah, and Chair, maybe just for clarity, if we had allowed our county attorney to say something, and then I will also be able to explain our governance structure when it comes to this. Because what we currently have, as you have been reading, we have CEC Finance, but then we have got chief officers in various departments who are basically also designated as accounting officers. And then on the side of revenue, we also have got a director of revenue. So if you are just allowed us, because that's the structure that we have, if you are allowed us, maybe just our county attorney to say something, so that then we'll be able to see maybe the way we have configured our government vis-a-vis what you are saying, there could be some issues. But that is the way we have configured our government, that we have a CC, they designate. In fact, there are two designated functions to the chief officers, the authorized officer and an accounting officer. And then those roles are given to them on behalf of the treasury. Now, within the same treasury, we have got, in our structure, in our establishment, we have got director of revenue. Now, we have also been toying, or rather ventilating, on going the way you are talking about, having revenue boards. And I think we have even drafts on what we need to do to go that route. So if we just allowed, because it seems it is an issue of interpretation of the law, maybe just to see what our county attorney was able to guide us on vis-a-vis what we are saying and the way our government is configured, so that we clear that issue, rather than being that we could have configured the government purposely, you know, not to be able to undertake the mandate that the Constitution has given us. So
I will give you a county attorney about 2 minutes, but that does not take us away from the fact that there are numbers here that are still not explained. Yes. That issue came up just to emphasize that that could be part of the reason why the governor is unable to explain numbers, because there are almost 20 people he has to refer to, and that is an extremely unhealthy and an unprofessional setup.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'll stick to the legal questions.
You were absent when introductions were made, so introduce yourself first.
For the record, Honorable Chair, my name is Omboko Innocent, County Attorney, Busia County. Thank you. So allow me, Chair, to just limit myself to the legality or the legal question in terms of interpretation of Section 157 of the PFM Act. My reading, Chair, and this is my legal opinion, and Chair, I reserve, the right to be wrong. Even courts sometimes are wrong, but this is my interpretation, that the use of the language in that section, a designation of receivers of revenue, it's in the head note, receivers, not receiver. In the language, in the body of that section, it says designate persons, not a person. And then it says specify in their letters, not in his or her letters. Plural all through. My view, Chair, Honorable Chair, is that there is a discretion in terms of the organization of government, whether to select one person as a receiver of revenue or to have more than one, looking at the language of that provision, Chair. That is my interpretation. If I may go a little further, Chair.
Okay, just before you go further, is it also your interpretation that the appointing authority can appoint themselves as one of those receivers of revenue?
No, that's not correct.
That is a problem.
That is the problem we have.
That is a problem we are dealing with.
Well, my brother, you know, we have a lot of respect for you, but we get very upset when we get people coming before the Senate trying to be clever, because we are also very clever people. So please, don't perform legal gymnastics here. If a mistake has been made, Governor...
Chairman, I will stop.
No, just a minute. You see, the chairman has even tried to guide and said these problems occur everywhere. And the purpose of these meetings is not just to castigate or paint somebody in bad light. It is also to guide each other and say, this is what the law says, you have erred here, you can correct this by doing this. There is a reason why there has to be a designated receiver of revenue, because there are legal consequences and responsibility that is attached to the office. So, please, Governor, Chair, guide your team that...
and Chair, that's why I was saying that because of just what he has read and the configuration of government, and that's why I thought that one of the main role of the Senate is to strengthen the institutions. So all we are saying is that if we had configured our structure in the way it is currently configured, I think we'll be taking recommendations from the Senate that maybe relook at that configuration so that it doesn't appear like, it is a deliberate thing. It's just the way we interpreted it. And we are here as we interact all the time, as you always say, to improve on policies, to improve on governance issues, to strengthen institutions. So this can also be one area that we can look, that's the way I'm interpreting it, to say maybe we have been doing ABCD, we need to borrow from the recommendations, Chair, maybe we'll be guided by you, that maybe you need now to reconfigure government in a manner the way you have just said.
But please, before we get there, Governor, before we get there, on the interjection by Senator Sifuna, whether the CEC can appoint themselves as the receiver of the revenue. We have a receiver of revenue report signed by the CEC. Is this therefore a legitimate document that the OAG and the Senate should consider?
Maybe, Chair, if you allowed our county attorney just to finish how we reached there, then we can be guided.
No, I think it's tied to the question. He has agreed that the CEC cannot appoint themselves. This is a report of the receiver of revenue. Is this therefore a legitimate report that we should be considering?
Chair, and in addition, we have agreed under the law that an appointing authority cannot appoint themselves. That is why you cannot appoint yourself as a CCM finance. That is simple, so the Wakili does not need to go further.
Yeah,
so
we'll stand guided by the committee.
So you and the CEC should be ready for sentencing.
Chair, really, I really would have wanted to benefit from, because she seemed to be very, very firm on the role that she is playing, I really would have wanted to benefit from our understanding of the law. And it's not even a legal issue here. I really would have wanted to understand from her, what role does she think is left for her after she has designated either a receiver or receivers of revenue? What role is left in the office of the CC Finance to execute the mandate of the office of receiver of revenue? That is an important question.
You want us to give the...
She was very, before you stopped her, she was really emphatic about this.
I think his argument has reached the logical conclusion.
Correct.
Because what we were trying to establish was whether the CEC can donate to herself the power of a receiver of revenue when she's the one appointing. Because if that is the line of argument, it means that even the governor can one day sign the report of the receiver of revenue, because it's the one who appoints the CEC, and it's the CEC who designates the receivers of revenue, and therefore the governor can take charge of procurement, can take charge of collection of revenue, can take charge of everything. If that is your interpretation, we would be happy, because we'll hang you for all the sins of your officer.
Chair, maybe you just allow my county attorney to say something, then we can progress on that. Yeah.
Chair,
Okay.
Yeah, in less than a minute, Chair, Honorable Chair. Thank you. I just wanted to proceed further, Chair, and say that that was the organizational structure of government at that time. Subsequently, His Excellency, the Governor, made some adjustments in terms of reorganization of government and appointed a chief officer specifically responsible for revenue, seated on my right. And therefore, we would be probably amenable to the suggestion that then we could now have maybe the chief officer, who is now there for revenue, specifically designated as a receiver of revenue.
But remember, the designation is not done by the governor, it's done by the CEC Finance.
Yes, yes.
So,
I agreed with Honorable Senator that the CC has no residual powers once he is designated.
no. The one that you are telling us the good news, you are telling us it's even worse news. It's a further violation of the law. Why do you guys want to personalize revenue collection?
Chair,
What is it?
let me
what is the problem?
No, let me give clarity. You see, previously, other than the CEC, the chief officer was the chief officer in charge of all those functions, receiver of revenue, what do you call it? Accounting services, you know, all economic planning, budget. So what I did, because of maybe the constraint of numbers of chief officers that we had, even the one who spoke, that is Timothy, you remember him introducing himself as a chief officer of trade and all that, but acting chief officer for revenue. So he's a chief officer for revenue. Now, the issue about receiver of revenue, as you have said, is what we need a clarity, and as I said, we are amiable to whatever suggestions or recommendations, so that we are in compliance where maybe we may have interpreted this wrongly. Because we only have a director of revenue, and we have now chief officer revenue, which was previously one position held by one chief officer. But later I split them up, just looking at the the magnitude of work that was required, and we were not getting our way through. So that is what it is.
Chair, then does it mean then the governor then has appointed the chief officer of revenue to be the receiver of revenue? Is that what you're saying?
No.
So has he been designated by the
Now, that's what we are saying.
Yeah.
From what you are saying here,
Yes.
we seem not to have gone
Designated,
further
yes.
and done that designation, as you are saying, either from the CC Finance, because we assumed, and I tend to think just the way we have interpreted the law, that once the CEC designates somebody as an accounting officer, or the Public Service Board designates somebody as an authorized officer on issues of HR, that was our understanding, that once you are designated, then all those various chief officers were purported or assumed to be receivers of revenue within their departments. In fact, a lot of times when we have been sitting, and even the way you're asking the questions, and you saw so many of them here, is because we assume that all of you, since you are the accounting officers, you are also responsible for that. And that, I think, is given by the CC Finance, not the governor.
Honorable members, the question is, do you have a feeling? Do you do you feel like the money collected from the citizens of Busia is properly reported and accounted for? That is a question we must answer. And that's why we are querying your governance arrangements, the qualifications of those who are signing the papers, and even the individual drops by line. Governor, I get the feeling that even you don't feel like it's properly reported.
That's why, Chair, we said the whole idea about Senate here is to try and improve where we feel that maybe on this one you need to strengthen, your governance area. You need to reconfigure your government structure so that it can contribute towards what you are just saying. Because I've told you the way how we are currently configured. And it's the role of the Senate also, I believe, to try and help us where they think.
Governor, we can only advise, we cannot direct you on how to do your job. No. At the end of the day, you have collected money from the residents of Busia.
Yes.
So it does not matter what structures or legal advice you are getting. The key thing is, if you collect money from Mama Mboga, that money should be visible here. Unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case. But I think we need to close this so that we go to expenditure. Senator Chirake?
Yes, maybe I can say, Governor, who is the CCM Finance? Maybe just one quick question, as I make an observation. As the current CCM of Finance designated county receiver at the moment. And then secondly, Chair, I agree that, so this year under review, Governor, the fact that you collected 357 million during that year against 2.2 billion, that is CRA for revenue potential. If you look at all these notes and that they've been signed off by county receiver and then CCM Finance, then it casts doubt on, Chair, on the presentability and this report as a whole, especially on this financial reporting, and the fact that the receiver of revenue is CPO Mbwaga Barnabas here. Oh, he's here. Are you in good standing with ISPAC? So you found it right that your boss was signing the financial statements? Through the chair. Because you have countersigned with her.
Thank you. I signed my part as a head of reporting.
So you don't advise your boss when you see something wrong? You see CM?
Well, what I can say, to some extent, I have to receive information.
So, Chair, just sit. So, through you, Chair, I think this was a cover-up. The intention that CCM Finance wanted to sign this financial statement is a classical case of a cover-up that looks like an organized criminal enterprise to rip off the hard paid money. Because, Governor, you and me are now, the problems we have in Kenya is because of taxation. Imagine the people of Kenya and Busia cannot trace where their money is, yet they are hardly paying those taxes. Because of just accountability mechanisms and governance of your CCM Finance. In fact, I doubt why you still have her as part of your team. Yet he has screwed you in this process.
Yeah. I'll beg for your protection, Chair, on this one.
Something?
Senator Seki?
Thank you, Senator Chair. I just want to say, with a lot of experience in issues of devolution and counties, I've worked as a county secretary for many years, over 10 years. I've also advised counties during the transition authorities period of 2012-2013. I think it is important that you take this advice from the Senate Committee of PAC, because it seems, Governor, you have a very big problem on how you've been advised on issues of this receive of revenue. Receive of revenue is a structure on its own. And I think I want to correct our legal counsel from your county that he needs really to go back and even seek advice from this committee and even from the legal counsel of the Senate, because you need to have a structure which is not, the receiver of revenue should not even be CEOs of within your counties, within the departments. It should be a structure within the entire government, such under the CC in charge of finance. So I think it is good that you get it right, and immediately you get a receipt of revenue. It takes charge of almost everything and report to the CC in charge of finance, so that you don't have these other problems. But these are things that we can always discuss out of the cuff.
Chair,
thank you, Senator.
Chair, my request,
Senator Sifuna.
My request is, when you exit this conversation, because you have the privilege of hosting the Senate in your county. Not many counties get that privilege. I would want to hear from you, Governor. The one thing that Senate can do for you to help you with your own source revenue as we exit that conversation.
Okay, Senator Ambua.
Chair.
Then Senator Maruma.
Mine will be to the county attorney through the governor. Personally, I don't believe that the county attorney has given you the right advice, and I don't believe that he is not aware that he has not given you the wrong advice. This running of government cannot be whimsical. It cannot be what people feel or how people interpret laws. I believe that somebody has deliberately, Governor, deliberately misguided you on this matter. I will not use the strong words that my friend Senator Cheragi has used, but there is very gray areas in your revenue collection. Very gray areas. And somebody is deliberately misadvising the office of the governor. I thank you.
Thank you. Senator Maruma, Vice Chair.
Yeah. Thank you, Chair. On page 7,
we need to make progress. I'll allow you to respond to the issues raised, very brief comments, and then perhaps what Senator Sifuna has requested, so that we move to the executive report.
Chair, maybe if I start with the last one, I think in this one, the main reason between the 80 and what was collected, I think must have been silo. Huh? Yeah. This is this silo contribution, I think, where we were expecting almost 58 million. out of that amount. And then the rest, the chair, I just agree with you that we need to see how best to improve. I think that was one of the main reasons for that big difference.
But
maybe
you've noticed there was a drop.
Yes,
compared to prior
I've said, I've taken note of that,
is
just the way you
also
mentioned it.
explained by the other theories that you had advanced earlier?
No, the other ones that we had on physical planning and all those are issues that I need to really delve deep into.
Okay, proceed.
Okay. So, Chair, maybe I'll just start with what Senator Seki said and finish with what Senator Sifuna had said. For Seki, I think one of the biggest problems, and it's good that you worked with, you said you had some experience with transition authority. One of the biggest problems I faced here when I came in here, you know, we didn't even have a staff establishment. We have been using those temporary arrangements of transition authority. And I'm just saying maybe it's one of the reasons we even got this issue we have just had about receiver of revenue, got it wrong because it was not even in our staff establishment. But there was also no staff establishment. It's just now that we are having staff establishment. So I agree with you that there are a lot of areas that need to be improved. But for 10 years, almost 14 years, we have been using that transition authority thing, and you can see the way our government was configured. So I'll agree with you that there will be areas to improve. On what Senator Wambua, you said, I think I can leave it the way it is. It was a form of advisory on what needs to be done. On what Senator Sifuna has said, there are quite a number of initiatives, as I had said earlier, like the act that we stepped down. Maybe we can bring it to the Senate. You look at it, the one that had been passed by our county assembly, and maybe advise. I hope we'll be able to get a copy so that we can share with the Senate when they are still here and look on how best we can go around some of those areas that need to be done. And to me, because of revenue collection has to come from, you know, the acts we generate through the county assembly and then how the executive is able to execute them, I would rather that I compile whatever we have and why maybe we have been ineffective in implementing. And before you leave, we should be able to have a session and share. And the quick one is just what I said, the one that we were asked to step down, because we didn't withdraw it. It is still active, but we were just told, you know, it seems to be contravening some international treaties. Please step it down until we do further consultation. So part of the consultation we can do is when the Senate is here. Thank you.
Yeah, I think maybe as an advice is, and perhaps you need to direct your team, is that you as a governor, you are the one who is elected. You are the one who talks to the people.
Yes.
And it must be clear to the market woman that when she pays 20 shillings for market access fee, that money finds itself in the accounts of the county and comes back to improve the market. This conversation you have had here, some people might interpret it to mean that that money does not reach where it's supposed to reach. And I think that you have a responsibility to ensure there is that transparency and accountability for every shilling that is collected. We are loud at talking about corruption at the national government, but people feel corruption at the county government more than the one in Nairobi. So please make sure that there are no hints and no perceptions that you are taxing a boda rider, a market trader, a truck driver, and then that money disappears in a conversation around receiver of revenue. Those are the things that make devolution look bad.
Yeah.
So,
but Chair, you'll also see, just like you had said earlier, in subsequent years, we are improving bit by bit, and I tend to think as we continue to have these conversations, we are going to be improving, but because there is always an improvement on what we have been doing.
Governor, your officers owe you some technical explanation, because the Auditor General has told us they're already on the ground. Your own source revenue is at about 500 million now. Why? Because of two things. hospital fees and the new basis of accounting. It is not true growth. So if they are telling you that you have collected 500 million and you should be happy, put them, and you know, you're a man who has been in all levels of government. The only thing you haven't been is president. You must ask that question. Do not go proclaiming you have collected 500 million before you have interrogated. Some people will steal from the public and then tell you that you have grown because we have gone to accrual basis of accounting. So please, before you pronounce it, interrogate it. Members, can we proceed to the report on the executive? On the report on the executive, the opinion of the Auditor General was, OAG, what was your opinion?
Qualified Chair.
Now, on that report, the Senate attempted to come up with recommendations, but we made recommendations on the basis of written submissions because, Governor, you did not appear before this committee to explain measures taken or to respond to the issues that were raised by the Auditor General. I think at this point, because this is a matter that came up at a past meeting that we had with the Auditor General, the Senator from Busia, Senator Okoiti Omtata, had raised concerns about the report of the Auditor General for the financial year 2022-2023. The Senator went ahead and wrote to the Auditor General asking the OAG to expand her scope of audit to cover a few issues. One of the issues the Senator wanted interrogated for lawfulness and efficiency was construction of the governor's launch. The other one were allegations of mispropriety in award of contract to WebTribe. The other one was procurement of a refrigerated truck. The other one was on beautification of Busia. The other one was on medical supplies, alleged fraudulent procurements leading to the lack of medical supplies to county hospitals. Then there was an issue on hire of dredgers from Uasin Gishu. There was an issue on pending bills and an issue on interest management. Now, the reason why I raise that, because that letter was properly served on this committee, properly served on the Auditor General, and properly served on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We have already discussed this, so I just want very, very quickly the OAG to give us an update on how that matter was dealt with and whether those issues are in this report, and maybe EACC to give us an update so that we don't brush that letter aside, and then now we can go to the substantive report. OAG.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. On those particular matters that were raised in that letter to the Auditor General, in the subsequent audit of 2023-2024, the following issues were raised. One, matters on pending bills and emphasis of matter, issue number 2. Then, Chair, on the report on lawfulness and the effectiveness in use of public resources, issue number 3.4 on trailer park at Mudida. Then, Chair, another issue was raised at paragraph number 4 under the same section of the report, titled Unexplained Construction of Designated Parking Areas at Busia Municipality. Honorable Chair, another paragraph is raised at the number 5, titled Incomplete Innovation of Busia Stadium. Honorable Chair, another issue is raised at the paragraph 6 on Unexplained the organization of Busia Town. Honorable Chair, Another issue, number 7, raised, titled Abandoned Project. Description is on modern fitting room at Bunyala Fishermen Comparative Society. Honorable Chair, another issue was raised at the receiver of revenue report at the paragraph 7. And that issue is titled Integrated Revenue at the Hospital Management System. The contract amount, was 59 million. Chair, on the hire of dredger, we didn't get any evidence that any payment were made to the county government of Uasin. Then, Chair, on the procurement of Governor's Lodge, that matter had been reported during the year 2022-2023, and the Governor indicated, or management indicated that EACC took the document for investigation. Chair can confirm that we wrote to EACC and they confirmed to us that they took all the documents in relation to that matter. Chair, we are still monitoring that matter in the current audit for 2024-2025. So the matter is not yet cleared, even if we have not been given documents. We have confirmation from EACC that they took the document for investigations.
Yeah, but I think, as you had said earlier, that matter, even though the EACC is investigating it, if the non-conformances you had raised have not been addressed, then it should not disappear from your report.
Sure, that is noted. We are going to have it included in the current audit of 2024-2025.
Yeah, so that we don't give the wrong impression that this committee has cleared a matter and yet it is still outstanding. Senator,
I just get clarity from the auditor. How much money was involved in that governor's lounge? What was the figure involved?
You can give us a few minutes, we can come, Chair.
And Chair, when the auditor, EACC picks documents, why can't they just maybe do copies, certify them for the sake of having the documents back to the entity for the sake of auditing? How long would the EACC stay with the documents? Infinitesimally? Will they never come back to the entity?
They took original documents and they never left out back copies. And as auditors, we don't audit copies. You can only look at certified copies.
No, I think we'll get into a conversation which we said we didn't want to get into. The amount involved in the governor's lounge was 29.9 million. It was in an audit report. The concern is that it is no longer in the audit report and yet it remains unresolved. That is a concern. Yes. And we have already addressed that and we have agreed that in the audit you are carrying out, if the gaps are still unresolved, it must find itself in the audit report.
Yes, we will, Chair.
Because I think Busia is a fairly litigious county. I think there are some decisions that have come from the courts with regards to the role of even a senator in terms of oversight. So if it does not find itself here, the senator will find it very difficult to raise it, suo motu, or to raise it in their individual capacity. That is a problem that we must deal with. Anything unresolved must find their way into the next audit.
That's noted, Chair.
Now, the good thing is that EACC has also given us an update earlier. I don't know whether you want to address the issues that we are dealing with regards to the issues that we've just listed.
Yes, Chair. I can address myself to one as we begin. On the issue of provision of documents, the Commission has always released documents to the OAG for audit upon request. In the event where we are holding original documents, all we would request for is to have copies of certified documents, and then we have always been ready to release original documents for purposes for audit. As regards the letter in discussion, Chair, The matters that were brought to our attention were picked up by EACC, and as I had earlier briefed this committee, several of them are actively under investigation at various stages, with some significantly progressing to conclusion, and maybe I can list them, Chair.
Yeah, if it does not prejudice your proceedings.
I would not go into much of the details, but fraudulent procurement leading to lack of medical supplies at the county hospital, consultancy services for the construction of the industrial park, pending bills, specifically in the Department of Trade and Investment, irregular disbursement of interest, the Governor's Lodge and the Busia Stadium, Chair, are some of the matters that are actively under investigation by EACC.
Okay, I think we're just trying to make sure that there's some continuity from where we were at the last meeting we had in Nairobi, and in between some conversations that have gone on with the OAG and the EACC. And of course, there have been some decisions that the courts have made, more or less somehow related to what you're doing here. So now, can we come to the main report and see how the auditor captured, because he has indicated that 90% of the requests from the senator are in this report. So let's see how that has been captured and how the county has addressed itself to it. Starting with the first section of the report, on the basis of qualified opinion, there were a number of issues of unsupported expenditure. Issue number one, Auditor General, what was the unsupported expenditure on and what was the amount?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The total amount was 16.5 million relating to domestic travel and subsistence.
So when we made our recommendation, we relied on your written responses. And you might see that our recommendation is that you take administrative action on the officers who fail to provide the documents. However, upon examination of what you tendered as evidence, the Auditor General advises us that that expenditure is yet to be supported. The recommendation we made was on the basis that what you submitted in writing supported the expenditure. The Auditor General tells us that what you submitted in writing does not in any way support the expenditure of 16.5 million. And since today is not a day of audit, perhaps then we should just give directions. Governor, small things, 16.5 million, small money spent by your officers. The auditor comes, they can't explain it. You write a letter to Senate, it does not explain it. Why should we waste time on this? If expenditure was not supported at the time of audit and remains unsupported 10 months later, what business does Senate have? Auditor General, am I misrepresenting the facts? Is the 16.5 million supported in your view?
No, they only produced evidence of travel.
Of?
Evidence of travel.
Okay.
But other documents were not provided. Evidence of travel.
Yeah. So I can see here, Chair, that the auditor has been courteous enough, Governor, to specify the documents he wants from your team. The invitation letters to attend meetings or conferences, attendance lists.
Who was the file? You submitted. Chair, let me allow my chief officer to say something.
And it would be useful just to say in your file, evidence number one is the page 2, number evidence. Just point us to the evidence, because this one does not require theory.
Thank you, Chair. I would just want to confirm that the file having surrender documents was actually provided to our auditors.
Yeah, but the auditor is here. The auditor is a professional constitutional body sworn to a professional code of conduct.
Evidence of the same.
CEO, are you sworn to a professional code of conduct?
Yes.
Which which profession?
But we should have.
I'm a certified public accountant.
You're a certified public accountant?
Yes.
Is PAC number?
20335.
Clerks, take note of that so that if there is any misrepresentation, we can make the necessary referrals.
Chair, are those documents before us? Because in your response, you have referred us to these appendices. When I open my file, Appendix 1B says surrender documents for 16 million shillings.
Yeah, it's a
but
big-
then there are no surrender documents here.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. It's a big file, and we gave it to the auditors. That's why we could not be able to.
Now, if you want us to help you, you would have a sample of 2 or 3 of them here, so that we ask the Auditor General what's wrong with those documents, because we need to see them. Why would you then give me this file? You know, I don't understand. It doesn't have any document.
The other bulky document that would refer you to the file rather than attaching them here again. Also.
Are they bulky and more expensive than the 16.5 million queried?
You can send me where they are. Are they at the bus park or at the border?
Sinani can confirm it.
No, Chair.
Senator Wambua?
So, Chief Officer, so there is Appendix 1B, right? What is it? What is it? I mean, we have it here. What is it?
Where is that file? You can't see.
No, you can do better, my friend.
If the file was with the AOG and the AOG is telling us he has not seen it, and I can also not see it, we are unlikely to believe that you are the one telling the truth.
Auditor General, you asked this question during audit. You issued a management letter. You issued a draft certificate before you issued your final certificate on 19th of December.
Yes.
Did the entity provide justification for this expenditure?
They did not.
Did they subsequently provide that justification?
Partially.
To what extent?
They only supported evidence of travel, but we had indicated clearly what was missing those supporting.
So can you point to what is missing, what the Auditor General is citing as missing in that big file that Senator Sifuna has?
Pete, you're saying we provided evidence of travel, but you are saying we didn't provide what?
Invitations to the meetings or conferences. Attendance register.
Boarding passes also?
Boarding passes were provided, or any other evidence of travel was provided.
And I think, Governor, it's not an idle thing. You have been in Parliament, I think, longer than most of us, and you know the practice. When there's travel, there's a very clear track, very clear documentary evidence, and would have expected that that's the discipline that would be there in the county, such that if you are to justify expenditure on travel, you just go to a staff file and pull out everything.
You know, Chair, the most frustrating thing,
that easy.
Governor, you know, I keep telling governors that I am also audited. I have a very good team there at Chungwa House, led by someone you know called Kawino. This is not a matter we should be debating. If somebody has a ticket, it is showing a bus ticket, and the auditor has told you provide documents. Surely, if your officer does not provide, you know, yesterday you were making a joke that when we recommend disciplinary action or administrative action, you don't want to do it. These are some of the straightforward cases. This is something that should have been provided at the point of audit. Why is he showing me tickets here now? You know, it doesn't make any sense. You provide to the auditor, the issue is resolved. It goes away. So for such officers, please don't cover them because they make you look bad. And by extension, you make me look bad because you know why.
Governor? Chair, I agree, and that's why I've taken some action on some of them as recommended, and also just what I tend to think that we need that discipline. Because a lot of times I remember even when we appeared before the Senate, it was, documents were not provided, but now they have been provided. And the same issue Senator Sifuna is saying, you know, it shouldn't be, because if the documents are required, they should be given.
So was 16.5 million spent properly? That's the question. can this committee therefore make a conclusion that the 16.5 million was spent properly?
Chair, as he thinks, Chair, was there maybe Governor before you respond? Chair, Governor, I'm at a loss. Did you table the file that you say refer in Appendix 1B? Chair, I don't think, has it been tabled formally? And do you allow supply of documents to be done?
Governor, it is not to the satisfaction of Senator Sifuna. It has to be to the satisfaction of the Auditor General. It is their case. And they are saying that you have not proven yourself.
Maybe you see, Chair, I think that the problem that we find ourselves in here is that the Governor and his team would want us to carry out audit now. That's what you're asking us to do. You are pushing us with documents that we can carry out audit here. We are not auditors. That's what we can never do. Secondly, Chair, from Appendix 1B, Appendix 2, Appendix 3, we are being told, refer to file, refer to file. Which file is this?
Chair, I think these are the files they say they had provided to the auditor.
When?
And I think the auditor is in a better position to.
Though members, I think if you are not careful, we'll end up doing the audit here.
Correct.
And that is not the intention of this exercise. We must ask the Auditor General to guide us. Auditor, if it is your case that the expenditure has not been supported, then we cannot reach a different conclusion. So Auditor?
And Chair, in addition, then we are also handicapped because we cannot proceed without all the documentations attached. And that is why I still insist that the Governor and the team was not ready.
Auditor?
Honorable Chair, even if you pick any slide of from any of the file that are, even one of them that is before me, what is only supported is evidence of travel, nothing else. We had specific
Chair, I think it is
documents that
very
were not
easy.
provided, including attendance registers and
Yes.
Yes.
It's very
Those
easy to provide who attended the meetings. You know, travel documents are there, but who attended the meeting? And where was the meeting?
Yes.
Where are the, it's quite simple.
The invitation.
Can we, members, just to try to make some progress, that was domestic travel. Let's see whether they are doing better on foreign travel. That is the next unsupported expenditure of 18.49 million. Auditor General, has that been supported? 18.49 million on foreign travel.
Honorable Chair, equally, this is only supported by evidence of travel. We had specific issues in this. One, 80% of the first services were given to one firm. Justification for that has not been provided. Number two, we had a problem with acquisitions. They didn't have clear instructions of the date of travel, number of persons traveling, destinations were not indicated. Again, programs that are attended and registers were not provided. Except the evidence of travel, all the other documents have not been provided. Justification for awarding to only one firm, 80% of the services has not been provided. So it's not supported.
Again, Governor, when you did your written submissions, we gave you the benefit of doubt and took the view that you had provided the supporting documents, you only provided them late. And that's why our recommendation was just administrative action. But it emerges that the auditor still questions the accuracy, completeness, and propriety of the 18.49 million. You add the two together, domestic plus foreign, that's 35 million. That's 35 million. Does it concern you, Governor? And again, maybe before you make your submission, even starting from where we started from, where we are saying that when people are designated certain responsibilities in writing, they must take responsibility. I know you are not the one who does these things. You are not the one who does interest management. You must call people to order. A former minister cannot sit in front of the Senate discussing bus tickets. Governor, it's making you look very bad.
Chair, I think I agree with you, and we had earlier had some very good recommendation in that I take action on some of these people, and I have already started taking action on some of these people.
But what happens to the 35 million?
Chair, as he said, some of the information that is lacking is what we need to check. Because he's saying it's partially provided, they have just partially given traveling. But as you say, this is a standard procedure in public service. If you are traveling, the invitations, whoever is doing, it's a standard thing. So, Chair, you would not even imagine that such a thing would also be an issue at this kind of table. And that's why you are saying it correctly. It should not even be a matter that, we are discussing at this level.
Because
so
you failed to account,
I'll just take action on the officers.
It is recovered. Because that's where I want us to go to. If someone is given money to travel and they cannot provide the documents, there is a recovery through the payroll, isn't it? Has that action been taken?
As I said, when I thought that this document has adequately, the answer has adequately, the documents have been provided. And as you look at it, because of the bulkiness of the file, we were only having annexes. And we said, have you provided all this? And if you get an answer, yes, Chair, sometimes you may not start auditing, just like you are saying here, to say, is this attendance list there? But as you say, an officer concerned should have done that. So allow me, Chair, to take some action on some
Honorable
of these
members,
officers.
Governor says makosa imefanyika, but that is not sufficient to deal with the 35 million of an
I wonder,
accounting funds.
Governor, we usually attend the entry and exit
failure now to match now the particulars of local service orders with the attendance registers. Number 2, opening and evaluation minutes were not provided. What the management has provided are the work plans and budgets, but how the services were procured in terms of tender opening and evaluation minutes, and explanation on the differences between attendance list and LSOs have not been provided or explained.
Governor, you're a pharmacist. What's your prescription here?
I've already taken some action, as you had even recommended, and even before that. I think the other thing now is maybe even just to go further, because I thought they had already provided everything.
Members, am I the only one who's struggling because I need to keep reminding myself that this is a Senate. This is a sitting of the Senate. And yet the conversation we are having is not conversation fit for the Senate.
It is even being made worse by the fact that somebody has arranged to blow the smell of ugali into the room. And this is our honorable chair. Some of us must answer to that call.
I know for Edwin Sifuna, 1 o'clock smells like ugali. So now on this unsupported expenditure, let's just pronounce ourselves. We are not using the time of the Senate well, and the county is not using our time well. If there is unsupported expenditure of 8.3 million, when you are writing our report, we will make adverse recommendations on that for recovery, and if recovery cannot be done, investigation and prosecution. On unexplained variances and grants and transfers, Auditor General, was this addressed to your satisfaction? And unfortunately, I have to ask this question because we relied on your written responses and we took them to be true, only for the Auditor General to tell us that they are not supported. Is this supported or not?
Honorable Chair, this particular matter is an accounting error, and it ought to have been rectified before the certificate or the financial statement for the funds and for the executive was certified by the Auditor General. So that one has not been addressed.
When you say it was an accounting error?
They ought to have reconciled the two, the financial statement for the respective funds and the county executive.
Auditor, tell us, when you say that Busia County Education Support Scheme, 117.5 million left was received in the fund?
Yes.
117 million?
Yes.
But what left the executive was 125 million?
Yes.
So what happened to 7.5 million along the way?
The same amount, 125 million, ought to have been reflected in the financial statement of that particular fund, 125 million.
So why are you calling it an accounting error? Because when money leaves the executive, the same amount should find itself in the fund.
How is it possible? Because one should be the source of the other, and vice versa.
That is only possible in IBC mathematics, where there's a difference between polling station and bombers.
Bukati math.
Just a reconciliation.
Honorable Chair, management has explained that these were timing differences. And the timing differences, in our opinion, did not apply because the financial reporting period is 1st of July to 30th of June.
Okay, Governor, please just picking one sample so that we can deal with one and move to the, like that one, the education support scheme. How come there's a variance of 7.5 million?
Maybe, Chair, as he answers, I can see one of our recommendations was a more direct, Governor. One of our recommendations was the administrative action. So as you answer the chairs, give us, because I'm trying, Chair, I'm really struggling because all the next chairs of Governor says refer to the file. And when you go there, they don't exist. So can you guide us where your response is and the administrative action? Because 60 days are over. When did we make this recommendation? Was it in March? And today we are in October. That's how many months? Almost 7 months down the line. And we had given a recommendation of 60 days. So, Governor, as you answered that, what action have you taken against the accounting officers and other officers responsible? And kindly refer us to the appendixes that you have indicated. And one of them is Appendix 1A, which is not part of these documentations that we are provided. I yield, Chair.
Okay. Governor?
Let me first of all have my county secretary say something.
Thank you, Chair. Honorable Member for the query. The first problem we had, Honorable Chair, is that when your recommendations were sent to us, and we have explained in page 2 of the response, it was unfortunately sent to an email address that is no longer available to this administration. I took the responsibility to communicate directly to the committee chair. I pointed out to him in a letter, which we have attached, to say we have only received the notice of these recommendations upon being invited to Senate. Then I said, hey, we have not seen these recommendations. Then we checked, we found that it went to the wrong address. So that is when the committee clerk was able to send the recommendations to us, to the correct address. And that came on 19th of May, Honorable Chair. So immediately thereafter, on the issue of administrative action, where the governor was directly asked to do something, I wrote to the accounting officer and said, these are the recommendations. Because these officers fall under your domain, please take the necessary action. And we have displayed that letter on this file.
Alex?
And then, sorry, this is Appendix 1A, Honorable Chair.
You are saying as this, you're telling us this email address info@busiacounty.go.ke is not your email address.
Exactly, Honorable.
So there's somebody running around with such an email address.
That was available to the use of the former administration. We don't have access to that.
Do you see the danger there, my brother?
Yes, Honorable Member.
What is the danger?
I informed administratively the ICT department.
No. Forget what you informed them. If the Senate can be deceived to believe this is an email address for the county government of Busia, what about the young people out there sending CVs and looking for information from your administration?
I appreciate the danger that people may be deceived, people may be conned, Honorable Chair.
Do you know where the former governor lives?
The governor went with the email address.
Sorry,
He's a resident of Busia.
Honorable Chair, that's why I paused, because I don't know what to answer my colleague.
No. Just
administratively,
yeah.
I decided to do what it would help through ICT to see that email address is no longer in use, Honorable Chair.
How long,
That's a county
was it
asset.
in use? How long was it in use?
Honorable Chair, I may not know, because that fact just came to my notice when the letter could not reach us, and I inquired about it.
No, this is a county asset. It doesn't belong to a person.
Yeah.
If it has ever been used as an email official communication channel for the county, you must recover it.
Yes, Honorable Chair, that's why I'm saying, because it's an address, it's an ICT matter, I drew it to the attention of the ICT department to follow up.
County Secretary, when did you come to office? When were you appointed?
About 1.5, I'm now about 1.5 old.
So do you think it is the dereliction of duty to leave such a important, and a serious oversight on your part? Because one, when the previous administration was handing over, there is an assumption of office act. All the assets and liabilities was handed to your office. Don't you think it is dereliction of duty?
Honorable Chair, I was not on duty when that happened, but when this matter came to my attention...
The County Secretary, you and me know that government exists in perpetuity. So that one does not fly. It doesn't fly our faces, because the point is, you have taken over. Government is an institution. The fact that you are not there and then does not absolve you for 1.5 years you have been in office, and it is only after the Senate tried to send you the information on recommendations of county public accounts that you notice you have said how many you have been misled on many occasions by sending this email. And is there proof to show that through the chair, to show that you, apart from directing the ICT department, to show that this email has been compromised or they was not part of the handing over when the current governor, Dr. took over?
Yes.
County Secretary, take a breath. Because I don't even know how you brought us into this discussion on email.
Correct.
You know, sometimes the less you say, the better. Because now we are going to end up distracted. So, can you reconfigure your response in a minute so that we can come back to these numbers?
And Governor, while on it through chair with the indulgence, so it means we are not anywhere with what we should be doing, because it is the position of your county secretary that since you did not get our recommendations in time, it means you didn't effect our recommendations. Then it means, Chair, our meeting is in futility, because unless you tell us when did you receive these recommendations, because we made it in March.
In May. I responded the
chair, in May.
To the chair.
So we are in October. How many months down the line?
May to October will be about 5 months.
So in 60 days. 60 days is how many months?
2.
So you can see your defense is not holding water. You are clutching on a drowning straw.
Now, let me, Senator Mwenda Gatai, could you give us a way forward?
The way forward, yeah.
Yeah, can I clarify?
Just a minute, because we are getting into, and Senator Cherargei is very good at it. I can allow him to take you there. And you'll not be able to, I'm trying to get you out of there.
You know, my good friend and governor is not prepared for this exercise. I think there's a team around the governor. I think he has given a lot of trust on the team. Right? I think the county secretary, the CC and so forth, and everybody else, I think you are not actually helping the governor, you know, and you know the bulk will stop at your door, Your Excellency. So I think, Chair, along this line, I think then we are not into anything. We are not into anything. I think we are waiting for your guidance to see whether we can either terminate the process and maybe get the governor prepared for this matter.
Okay, fine. Let's try and do what we must do so that the governor can also see what he has to do. Does it mean that, so quickly, just ticking, because we must deal with pending bills and one or two other things. Auditor General, payments charged to other grants and transfers, is there any shadow of doubt on that?
No.
That one is okay?
It's not.
That one is not okay. So
were irregularly misallocated.
So that's a total of 107 million since we started this conversation on unsupported expenditure. 107 million. Ownership documents and number plates for tractors?
And who are beyond the age, there are quite a number of them. I think that's an accumulated figure for the entire year.
119 million is expenditure for the year. So you're saying that staff above 65 are earning 119 million in Busia in a year?
No, I'm just responding to the issue that you raised about those staff members who are paid outside IPPD.
Yes, that's where I am.
Yes.
And you're saying that they are staff above 65 years?
No, 60.
Above 60 years?
That's number one. And there are others.
How many are they?
I think we have, in total, they're around 47.
47 above 60?
No, there are some outside IPPD, those who are paid outside IPPD.
119 million.
I need to confirm with the figure, but I was just trying to explain the reason as to why some of our staff members have been...
Officer, you're an accountant.
Yes.
You support your argument with numbers. And you say this is the table, these are the staff above 60, the ones who are at TSC or National Police Service Commission, we understand, and this is a total 119 million.
We have that summary.
Where is it?
Not in your response. In your response, we were just trying to take your recommendation that you had given to us. But if you look at the response that we gave to the auditor, we were able to give those staff members who are being paid outside IPPD.
Auditor, was that provided?
We came up with that 119 million from the document we got from the management. But explanation why they were paid outside the system was not satisfactory. And that issue has persisted in the current audit.
So that's an accountant to accountant. Can you tell us then what is the way forward?
Chair, we had even written to Public Service Commission that they try and come up with a system that would allow those staff members who are engaged by the above 60 years, a system that would allow them to be awarded, to be given IPPD numbers.
But officer, how many are they? Because you are saying above 119 million is an average of 1 million per month.
Like
an average of 1 million per month. Even if there were people on 50,000, those are 20 employees. So who are they?
Chair, who are they? Which kind of people are allowed to be employed? Are they PWDs? Are they advisors? Then, so that then we can get the list. And then number two, if you pay them outside IPPD, how do you pay them? Do you use payment vouchers?
Governor, that explanation will not make any sense to anyone.
Yeah, because I saw Professor Julia outside. I hope
she one of those.
I hope her name is not on that list.
Yeah, because Governor, when governments
is that why you are hiding the list?
when governors, when leaders are trying to look for opportunities for young people, you want us to create a system to employ old people. It's very unfair, Governor. That one, we will not accept that explanation. Who are those people, by the way?
I did.
Let the HR chief officer say something.
And she should give us,
quickly,
Chair, the segregation to show that total of 119 million. We want to know. Chair, you know in some counties there were people called Sangwenyas. Governor, are you aware in some counties there were people called Sangwenyas?
There is no Sangwenya who is 60-year-old one.
That's what I'm saying.
Sangwenya will be 60-year-old.
In some county which is neighboring to you, there were people who were hired like this to take money. Can you dispense us from thinking so?
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I might not be in a position to give the segregation at the moment, but we have already come up with a recruitment plan. The issue was recruitment, and then we have challenges getting the numbers from DPSM. But what I would wish to say is that we have worked on ensuring that the staff have numbers. We have communicated on the staff.
Chair, just for order, so that I don't spend a lot of time. Just for order.
Senator Mwaruma?
We only have...
You know,
order, officer. Senator Mwaruma, please.
What we're talking about is futuristic. These are future plans.
Yes.
But already there's a query here.
At the moment...
which you need to mitigate. Number one, who are these people? How many are they? And how are you paying them? Are you paying them through payment vouchers? You know, that's what we want. And then now we say for the future, so that we try to mitigate?
Thank you, Chairman. We are now having 47 people who still do not have IPPD numbers, and it's work in progress.
Who are they?
We have the list we can provide.
What do those
which cadre?
We're not asking for the names.
What do those people
We are
do?
saying that the cadres, are they advisors?
Yes, the cadres are one. We have directors who were recruited last year who still do not have the numbers, and a few contract staff. The advisors are very few. They are around 4, but we are reactivating their numbers. We only have one advisor who is over 60 years, who is the economic advisor, and we have been working with her to ensure that she gets her number with her former Ministry of Petroleum.
So these ones who are over 60, who are they?
How many are there?
Over 60,
Yes.
some of the staff who are over 60 are persons with disabilities. And in the leadership, we have 4 CEC members who are over 60. Yes, around 4 CC members over 60, 1 advisor. And
members, I think it would be neater.
Yes.
And this one we can direct that we need to get that list that you are saying you provided to the Auditor General. Correct. The Auditor General has indicated this content with that list. And Chief Officer, you said that list was provided to the Auditor General. So it is not here. It is not with us here. Do you have it?
I have the list.
Can you table it?
So let me organize to get it.
But you said you have it. Can you table that list? We want to see who these people earning 119 million are and why they're not in IP.
Fundamentally, Chair, I don't think, Governor, you want the impression to go out there that Busia wants a system to be able to take care of 60-year-olds who want employment. We have the data on young people, even from Busia, who are looking for jobs. There is no job category called PWD. What do you mean? There is nothing like that. If you want a PWD to occupy a position of director, the position is director. Then you say you're filling with a PWD. In my own party, the person representing PWD is younger than me, Crystal Asige. Yes. She's a senator and you'll see her here. So you can't tell me we should have looked for a 60-year-old to do the job that Crystal is doing. It doesn't make sense.
Chair, I think you have been told in leadership we only have got 4 people who are above 60. And that is the chairman of the County Public Service Board. I think there is 1 advisor, an economic advisor. There is 1 CEC. And who else? You said there are 4. Huh? There are 2 CECs, and then chairman of the board, and 1 economic advisor. Those are the only 4 people above 60 years.
How long will it take your officer to table that list?
I think that list, have you sent for it?
It is not a matter of days. It needs to be tabled.
You can send someone to bring it.
Yeah, please make sure we must get that list.
Just send someone to bring it.
Okay, members, can we very quickly...
Chair, if you allow me, I hope through Senator Sifuna, you said I should put party matters aside. I hope I'm clear that that impression is not correct, that we have overemployed people beyond. Those are just contractual people, as I said, 2 CECs.
That's not what I said. He requested a system. Unless
the system of employing people above 60.
Yes.
No, it was just that.
Why would we be and you'll find that the system is developed by young people. What is the logic there?
Chair, that does not represent the opinion of this government.
Okay, let's quickly look at the issue of pending bills, which is important. Auditor General, well, can you just give an overview of your finding? I know our recommendation was a generic recommendation that we gave to all counties in line with the resolution that the House had passed. But let's get the figures and the issues from the OAG.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. On the pending bills, the audit could not confirm the balance of 1.8 billion. One, we compared the report of the control of budget and the balance reported. There was a balance of 418 million. We also compared the opening balance for the previous year, the 30th June 2023, and the audited financial statement, and again it was an explained variance of 102.7 million. Chair, we also noted that petty meals relating to local authority provident fund amounted to 7 million, and petty bills amounted to another 2 million relating to LAPAD were not included in the financial statement. Honorable Chair, we also noted that the petty bills balance of 1.8 billion included petty bills, old petty bills, subjecting back to 2018-2019 financial year. And finally, petty bills were not charged, were not treated as a first charge to the Capital Revenue Fund as required by the law. Those were the issues, Honorable Chair.
Okay, so I think our recommendation was a payment plan to be submitted to the control of budget. It was a very long recommendation, and we believe that this is something that is in progress. But we must first agree on the base. What in your view, Auditor General, was the pending bill as at that point in time? Or you can't tell?
We can't tell. We can't confirm that balance.
Okay, Governor, what was your pending bill for the period under review?
Chair, maybe I'll take you slightly a little bit back. Chair, when we came into office, it was a requirement both by the Auditor General and the ESCC that we do a verification of pending bills. And we appointed a team, which we call the UCO report, and the former Auditor General, because he ran some farm, and we were allowed by the Office of the Auditor General to engage even private farms. And at that time, they gave us a pending bill of 2.7 billion. 2.7 billion. That is what we are calling the verified, and the report is there. Now, the other thing which we also discussed is how to start taking care of that pending bills, because that was all the way from 2013 that was carried over. And then subsequently now, in these other subsequent years, we have also had expenses. I don't know how much that has added to that currently.
For that financial year, it was 1.8.
Yeah. It was 2.7 plus. Just a minute, Chair, because there's a way we were doing it. I wanted to distinguish between what we were legally required to do when we were assuming office, that we needed to verify the pending bills. And that's the report I'm saying. For that one, it was 2.7 billion, and we have a report to that effect. Now, from that,
but then now, what matters is what you reported.
Yes.
So what is the figure that you reported? Because you are within your rights to do all those things, even though the courts had a different view. At some point, there was a matter in Kitale where they emphasized the engagement of the Auditor General and the involvement of the internal audit function. But having gone through all those processes, what did you close the year as your valid pending bills?
1.8 billion.
CEO, you know that 1.8 billion and 1.89 billion are two different figures.
Okay,
so what's
Chair, let me allow the CEO to give the accurate figure.
Yeah, because when you owe someone money, it cannot be approximate. It must be exact to the last cent.
Chair, just allow me to quote the exact figure that was our outstanding balance as
Yes.
at the end of that financial year. Our total outstanding balance was 1,838,000 1,838,807,345. That was our outstanding balance as at the end of 30th June 2024.
So how was that different from the balance carried forward? In this query, the auditor is saying that the balance brought forward and the balance carried forward were different.
Because if you look at our financial statement, this was our closing balance. And it's the balance that is not supposed not to be carried over to financial.
Where is 1.941 coming from? 1.941 billion.
Chair, I remember in high school they said balance cannot be different from what is carried forward.
Brought forward, carried forward,
it has to be the same.
Should be the same.
So the query is that variance. Where did that variance come from?
It's a variance of 102 million.
And in fact, Chair, the 1.9 was for the previous financial year. If you look at the query by the auditor, they are saying 1.9. They were trying to relate the current outstanding pending bills against the previous year's outstanding bills to see whether there was an increase.
Good thing the auditor is here. Auditor, can you tell us why did you query the two balances?
And also, Chair, in addition, because under the COB here is saying the county said 1.8 billion, but when the COB reviewed the report of implementation of 2022, it was 1.4. So it came to variance of 418 million. So why this variance of 102 million and 418 million? Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
We compare the balance reflected in the audited financial statement for the year ended 30 June 2023. The amount was 1.9 billion, the closing balance. Then the county reflected an opening balance of 1.8 billion. Hence a difference of 102 million.
How does
that opening balance is part of the movement during the year, so that now finally they arrived at a closing balance of 1.8 billion. So the opening balance is very critical. There was a difference between the balance as audited the previous year and the opening balance as reflected in the
So ni kama kufunga duka usiku, kesho yake asubuhi unapata maziwa is not at the same level as the previous night.
Yes.
Yeah. So, Governor, surely, what is that all about? How can your closing balance be different from your opening balance?
Yeah, Chair, I'm also a bit baffled with what I'm saying. I told you, Chair, it's not a laughing matter. Chair, I would like to doctor.
But surely, the team supporting the governor, you saw this finding in the management letter, in the interim report. Why do you want to expose yourselves to ridicule?
I think we should bring all the CVs of the young accountants looking for work from Busia alone, Governor, so that those 60-year-olds can go home and allow the young people to do this math.
Chair.
I mean,
Chair.
Yes, the one that we gave to
Oh, Senator Wambua?
Chair, I want to find out from the OAG.
The one that was given to
OAG. Did you engage the management on this audit queries?
Yes, we did, in very many occasions.
But they seem to be seeing these things now here. I mean, the governor is saying he's baffled. I don't know. Chair, what are we doing here? You know, Chair, let's just be honest. Let's just be honest, Chair. What exactly are we doing here? Are we carrying out audit, or what exactly are we doing here? I don't understand.
The chairman of the audit committee, by your appearance and temperament, you must be a man of significant experience. I think I've seen your name and your profile in this report. What do you make of this? And how does the audit committee advise the executive to avoid these conversations at an apex national level? Governor, we are seeking some advice from the audit committee. Chair, audit committee.
Thank you. very
What is your role in all this?
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman. First of all, I'll say that we were appointed 1 year later. We were appointed in 2024. So we've been in office around 13 months or 14 months, but we have put the Director of Internal Audit in perspective because we realized when we interrogated the financial statements, the quarterly financial statements, there were flaws and so many things needed to be addressed. We also gave a report to the governor because structure-wise, I have the charter here. We report to the governor, and that is something you need to address in future. When we report to the governor, actually, it's sort of, I wish we could report to somewhere like county assembly or something, but that's something to be addressed later by the legislators. But we have been concerned about the county's financial transactions. We have about 3 reports we have made. In fact, I was happy that the Auditor General used some of our reports to be able to come out with what we have here. Because we need a county that is accountable, a county that is transparent. There is a point you have raised about revenue collection, which we have addressed in a different report. And what you said is correct. We need to have a Department of Revenue. In fact, in some cases we thought that the revenue collections were lower than the local authority collections. And the fact that CRA have come out with a figure of 2 billion, and we are only doing 300 and something million, speaks to the fact that we need a structural adjustment in revenue collection. And you have come out with a very good point that the receiver of revenue should not be the accounting officer. Actually, that's something that should be addressed. And we need to be very keen about Public Finance Act to go by it. I know what we have gone through is a bit embarrassing, even to me as a professional, because I'm in the private sector. I do practice accounting. But when I come here as an oversight officer, my advice also remains an advice because I cannot execute that advice. But what I can assure you is we are working very well with the Auditor General Corporation. When we started off, the entry meetings were not being invited, but because of that push, now we are being invited. Even the last exit meeting, we were invited and we did quite a number of contributions. And when we received this report 23-24, we called the chief officer. The governor accepted us to interact with the chief officers, and we highlighted the danger of Senate recommendations. The Senate recommendations were very serious: recovery and administrative action, and also legal proceedings, because you cannot take an interest.
Sorry, Mr. That's Joseph Owanga.
Yes.
Joseph Owanga.
Yes.
Yeah, because of time, because we are almost getting into 2, you are making some good points.
Yes.
But I would like that those points you're making, you must find a forum with the county executive so that you are able to share, because you've got that responsibility as an audit committee to play some assurance role, an internal assurance role.
Yes.
Because the reason why I brought you into the picture is if balance brought forward and barrels carried forward are different, and that finds its way into a national report,
we have just found out something. Maybe before you make that conclusion, let's allow the chief officer just to say the difference between 1.9 billion and the 1.8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, Chair. If you look at the audit queries that was raised, the source of the two figures, they are saying the 1.9 billion was the closing balance for the year ending June 2023. That was the closing balance for the year ending June 2023. And then the 1.8 that we are talking about is for the financial year ending June 2024. So those are two closing
So in the
figures.
financial statements, you can demonstrate that the opening balance was 1.9.
Yes, the opening balance.
Are they here because you've got an annexure? I think the auditor referred to a note. Just show us that note, then we can move on. Because we might ridicule you over something that is not necessary.
In fact, I'm just going by their statement. Further note 17.2 to the financial statement reflecting pending accounts payable balance brought forward of 1.838, while previous years
Chief Officer.
Yes.
I am looking at note 17.1, pending accounts payable. The opening balance, the balance brought forward is 1.83 billion.
For which year?
This for 2023-2024. Do you have a different set of financial statements? The auditor says you closed the other year at 1.9. Here it shows you opened at 1.838.
I think the only thing you need to do, Governor, to demonstrate that is to show us financial statements with similar figures for closing and opening balances for the previous and subsequent years. If you don't have that...
Do you have your financial statement, my friend? How do you come to this meeting without a financial statement? Because you've done bullshit accounting here. There is no addition to the year. The opening balance is equal to the closing balance for the year, 0 on the 2 columns for additions. That is not how you do financial statements. So I agree with the Auditor General. This, first of all, there is a professional failure, professional negligence, gross professional negligence when it comes to it. Someone show, Governor, you need to have a view of this page. It is indeed true that the opening balance was 1.8 billion. And the closing balance was 1.8 billion because there was 0 on additions. The auditor is not idle. So,
Chair.
Vice Chair, Senator Mwarumo.
Yeah, also the second limb of that query, Chair, indicates that the records held by Kenya Power Company Limited and LAP Fund indicate that the executive owes the two entities 7.0 million and 132 million, which were not disclosed as pending bills. The question would be, number one, why? Number two, LAP Fund has to do with the retirement benefits for the employees. Why aren't they paying it? When will it be paid? And how do we disaggregate it? When was it, when did it start accumulating? Is it historical or it is current? We need that disaggregation. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we go to that next limb. On this one, on balances brought forward and carried forward, I think, Chief Officer, I personally can see what it was more of a mistake in terms of entry, but then it cannot be, you see, it can't be a mistake really, because the movement for the year needs to be captured in the financial statement. You can explain this in a different way, but not in the manner in which you're trying to explain it. No, but the governor does not seem to understand. I think he's still perplexed. I've seen where the problem is. Can you explain it in a way that the governor can understand it?
I think, Chair, I want to agree with your explanation. It's that I was referring to the audit query, the way it had raised, and that's why I picked that the 1.9 was for the financial year ending 2023, and then the 1.8 was the closing balances for pending bill for the financial year 2024. But I didn't have now.
Can I put it this way?
Yes.
That you are too lazy to reflect movements for the year. That's why your opening balance was 1.8, your closing balance was 1.8, movement was 0. It gives the public the impression that you are stealing using pending bills. Probably I've looked at these 47 of them, so I might not reach that conclusion, but someone else might reach that conclusion. So, Governor, can you explain this now, if you have understood what the problem is? Why brought forward and carried forward a different?
Chair, I don't know whether I'm still competent because there's something I was still trying to check running through my mind so that then I can refocus in terms of the movements, the way you are saying. Because there's just a document I'm trying to look at.
No, no document will help you.
Yeah.
There's no document.
It is just an accounting issue.
It might look like an accounting issue, but it could be a pointer to serious problems.
Yes.
Serious problems when it comes to management of your
you're saying there was
of your
zero
liabilities.
Balance, zero movement. Yeah, zero. Okay, I think I'm trying to get what you're saying.
That I think you pay this guy a salary he's the one who's supposed to explain it to your satisfaction.
Governor, we are all at this point relying on our business education from high school. So as lawyers here, we're also struggling the way you are struggling. But we depend on the professionals to know what to do.
What should you have done, Chief Officer?
I think, Chair, I do agree that our closing balance for the financial year ending 2023 should have been our opening balance for the year opening for the financial year 2023-2024.
And then you should have reflected the movements to get to 1.8.
Yeah.
Okay, because of time, let's go to the other limb on the LAP fund, the question by Senator Maruma.
Now, Chair, I would want to clarify that there are quite a number of liabilities that we inherited from the defunct local authority, in which I think discussion is still going on under the Intergovernmental Relation Technical Committee to either assign those responsibilities to national government or county government. I think that was the reason as to why we had not recognized those liabilities, and there are quite a number. The statutory reduction, some tax liabilities, and other liabilities. So we are still waiting for direction from the consultation that are still going on under the Intergovernmental Relation Technical Committee.
I don't find that to be satisfactory, but because of time, we could ask the Auditor General to keep it in view. Senator Maruma.
And maybe
so then,
in addition to Senator Maruma's, is on the aspect of statutory deductions, because whether it's part, whether statutory deductions were being remitted in this aspect. Was it remitted, Bwana CEO?
That's what I was saying through the chair, that they go beyond even, LAP fund was just one of them. There are even other statutory reduction like for NSSF that we inherited from the defunct local authority, which have never been settled up now. We
What
are still
about KRA?
Tax liabilities here also.
CEO, if we go through this schedule, there will be no current outstanding statutory deductions.
They are there. Currently they are there.
Because we can separate the historical,
yes,
but are there recurring statutory deductions that are sitting on your pending bills register?
Yes.
Okay, can you move forward and Governor tell us, out of the 1.8, assuming 1.8, going by that explanation, how much has been paid so far and what is the outstanding?
Chair, I may not have the specific figure.
But part of our recommendation was a payment plan. And that payment plan should then inform us on what you have paid and what you haven't paid. Look, you might be having contractors out here who are demanding money from the county government. It is our duty as a Senate to ensure that that money is paid.
Yes.
Because we have played our duty by releasing money from up in Nairobi.
Yes.
So you can't tell me, you can't tell how much you have paid.
Chair, I just said, from the initial figure they had requested for the long outstanding balance of 1 billion, already 242 million has already been paid. But now relating to the 1.8 that you had asked, we continue to pay them, but I may not know, I may not have the records now to show how much has been paid.
How much does Busia owe service providers? That is a figure. I'm sure you know how much you owe banks in case you owe them. That's in case you do. How much does your government owe?
2.6.
Service provider.
I'm talking about the entire pending bills. I mean, pending bills are for service providers and staff.
The burden is 2.6. Yes. Share is around still 2.6 billion.
So we moved from 1.8, now we have grown to 2.6.
Yeah.
And
Chair, you know, it would have been helpful if you had that payment plan. Is it anywhere here, the payment plan that was given to the control of budget? Do you have a copy here?
Percent of the budget.
Through the chair, we have the repayment plan, which we can provide him probably if we are given around 30 minutes.
No, but that was in our
plan. How much
that was a recommendation.
Expenditure, how much is for staff payables? How much is for capex? How much is for operations? Can you disaggregate like that? In the pending bills, are you able to disaggregate for capital expenditure for projects?
Yes.
And for operations?
As we normally categorize them into two, the recurrent pending bills and then the development pending bills.
How much goes to development?
Development is
Governor, there is a place I would want your team to go for benchmarking on management of pending bills. Luckily for you, there are people you know very well. There's a county called Turkana. And they shocked the entire Senate Public Accounts Committee moving pending bills, I think it was from 9 billion to less than 1 billion shillings. Yes. Correct. Yes. Your other neighbor in Trans Nzoia, if you look at the people who provide services and goods to the county, it's youth groups, it's women groups. You cannot afford to grow the bill that is pending.
Chair, that information can't be found now. They can't look for it now. If it is not there, then they can disaggregate later on. But we need that list. Is it possible to have all that list for the people?
I was just using the gap there as they look for documents to give some advice to the governor here on where they can go for benchmarking on management of pending bills. Because yours is growing, governor, instead of going down.
Actually, the fact that note 17.1 that we have already discussed does not provide a proper accounting picture of pending bills just tells you that your records are not up to date. Note 17.2 pending staff payables is all blank, and yet you have said that there could be some statutory remittances that are sitting on your pending bills register. So I think, Governor, please take serious interest in this particular matter. You should be able, when you're asked how much you owe, you should be able to have that number. That to me is not micro information. That is information that a CEO sits with. Members, I don't get a feeling that we have dealt with this matter properly. It is just that time will not allow us to deal with it. But I want to call on the county assembly. These service providers, there are groups in your wards. There are groups, I hope most of them are operating from here, not operating from Mogadishu or anywhere else. I hope they are locally based service providers. I wish that in your consideration, Because for pending bills, you are not tied to that 90-day period, because this is something that is work in progress. Please keep an eye on pending bills. If the Assembly cannot deal with this matter, then there's no way the Senate sitting in Nairobi can deal with the matter. So I want to encourage Daktari, your committee, if you have not done so, you probably need to do a special inquiry on pending bills. I don't know
Most
whether
of the
you've done
times, Chair, the county assembly is very well versed with the people who are owed money.
Yes.
Because they are the people that contractors go to. I remember the situation in Homa Bay.
Yes.
They went to the county assembly and had to even find the senator for Homa Bay to bring up that matter. We have expressed a hope. This is something I only saw in Trans Nzoia. When you are given a list of pending bills and how they have been paid, you can tell that it is local women, local young people who are supplying goods and services to the county. Do you have visibility on any of that, Daktari, on who the pending bills are and who the suppliers are?
Yeah, Chair, as I said, we had.
I was talking to the other doctor. I think there's a confusion.
There's an over-concentration of doctors here.
Yeah, thank you.
The doctor from the Assembly.
Yeah, thank you, Chair and Super Senator Sifuna. I want to confirm, as a county assembly, we did benchmark at Trans Nzoia County. We came with a report, which is adopted by the House and forwarded to the executive for implementation, where we saw there were best practice that the county of Busia could emulate. Equally, as a county assembly, we raised a motion requesting the status of pending bills, which was forwarded to the Committee of Finance. We expect to get the feedback from the executive on the status of pending bills. Equally, the COG report indicates a figure of around 2.4 billion pending bills for Busia. And importantly, Senate Chair, that the first charge for any budget is supposed to be a pending bill. So I think we are learning, and as an assembly, we will purpose, as you have advised, that all the finance committees we able to come forward with measures like the one that Bungoma was able to adopt, that we take upon ourselves to invite those business people who have done business with Busia to make their submissions, so that we're able to see how we're able to help this county, also support the governor in the initiatives that we'll be putting to see that we're getting these services right. Thank you, Chair.
Now, members, I want to propose that.
Just, Daktari, just 30 seconds. Can you share with us that report that you forwarded to the county executive, maybe with the indulgence of the chair? And also, I have noted you, I'll tell the president about you. So don't worry.
Please, you don't have to respond to that. We have a number of projects in this report. We have already discussed with the Auditor General that, and Governor, I think this should, you should be concerned about this. In this report, we have administration block at Onyunyur VTC, 1.7 million. 1.7 million, escalating all the way to the Senate. A county aggregation and industrial park, this one is big. This one, because we don't have time, it could be one of those sites we will visit on Thursday. So this we can do a site visit. Box culvert. Governor, box culvert. That we are supposed, the Senate is supposed to discuss a box culvert at Busiwapo Ward. Surely. But it reached there because money was not spent lawfully. So you see, that's why I was asking the chair of audit committee. There are things that need not come to the Senate. We have not even had a conversation on whatever interventions you need the Senate to put in place. Now we are discussing box culverts. The next one is a placenta pit. A very, very important feature of a dispensary because it facilitates delivery. Yeah, it's if you don't have a placenta pit, then even deliveries cannot be done there, because otherwise they'd be throwing the placenta in the bush, which is a serious
I
problem.
was shocked because as we take our placenta to bury where you can show people. This is where I come from.
Yeah, Busia is fairly cosmopolitan. Okay. Yeah, so the practices might be different. 2.9 million for a placenta pit.
Yes, a PAC.
You go next, the DR Center at Sabia sub-county, 4.97 million. And we have told the Auditor General, when you see a contract at 4.97 million, 4.98, 4.889, that is a contract that has been tailor-made to beat the procurement regulations. Correct. So that you can go direct. Correct. And you can see 3.2 is 4.979. There's another one which was 4. Just slightly before the 5 million. Auditor General, those are some of the things you need to look at. So, County Assembly, these projects, surely the Senate cannot be deliberating on box culverts and placenta pits and 4 million worth of projects. We are going to request that on the projects listed here, please also look at them, visit them. The Senate will visit the aggregation PAC. There was something to do with 100 million on parking areas at Busia municipality. The Senate might take an interest in visiting that. The trailer park, the refrigerated truck, this one, the EACC has the matter before them. The stadium, unfortunately, in the stadium, the only thing cited is 4 million.
4.9.
4.9 million. Another gymnastic for procurement purposes. And we've already discussed with the auditor that we need to get a bigger view. Hospital management systems, these we should have discussed when discussing the receive of revenue report, where you procured a system at 59.8 million, paying 6% commission, and yet it is not rolled out. So, Auditor General, please keep that in view. I think there was something on abandoned project which we did not have a lot of information on. Bunyala Fishermen Cooperative Society. And I think this one we had discussed, and the auditor says that, Governor, your team has refused to give information on Bunyala Fishermen Cooperative Society. Why should this be treated as a secret? Construction and equipping of a modern filleting room at Bunyala Fishermen Cooperative Society. I know Busia, like Homa Bay, our people are fishermen.
Chair, I'm told it has been submitted. I don't know why they should not give a file. Has it been submitted, maybe through the chair, if the auditors have it?
The Auditor General said that nothing was provided to them.
Yes.
Been provided.
Auditor General, if this becomes a black box in your current audit, let us know so that EACC can unravel it.
But Chair, also, if it has been submitted, what has been submitted? What is the contract sum of this modern filleting room? Because then you have that information which you have submitted. You can give it to us now.
Perhaps, Governor, as you submit that file, the query was that the facility had been abandoned. What is the current status of that facility? Is it in use?
Chair, there was a backflow, but we can allow the chief officer who was there to say something.
No, just now, like if we go there tomorrow, what is happening there?
Yeah, can you say something?
Yes, sir. There was a construction way back in 2014 of that project. And then there was some time back when there was a lake backflow. So it reclaimed some land. And part of I think it claimed several beach plots across Lake Victoria.
Yeah, we have come across lake swallowing projects before.
Yes.
So, yes, in Marsabit. So what is the current, if
it's still submerged?
In fact, I feel bad asking this question. We should just go there. Because now, that's why we are here in Busia. How can you not answer what is going on, Governor? You just say this is what is happening now.
Chair, is still submerged. But
Being submerged means it has disappeared in the water, or you can see something.
you can see it.
How much has been spent on that project?
So
How much?
Have the documents all been submerged in the?
No, the documents are here.
But what are they doing there? They are supposed
How
to
much?
be the
How much has been spent on the project?
Chair,
They're supposed to be the auditors.
I want to assure the governor, if it has been submerged, we will talk to Kenya Navy to provide us submarine. We are willing to go under with Senator Sifuna to try and locate where that project is.
Order. You are not a River Lake Nilot, so you don't understand water.
You will join us.
Irregular procurement of consultancy services for Busia County Referral Hospital. This one reads like a fiction story, Governor, that you gave a consultancy at 4.98 million to advise you on whether the hospital should be level 5 when it was already a level 5. You know, this one is drama.
Wait, Chair, I can see the Chief Officer for Health is just walking in. I don't know who gave him permission to go out.
Is he the culprit? Because this one is.
I don't know.
This one is Ukora. This one is Ukora. This one.
Because the issue of the placenta and this one, he could.
No, but this particular one of consultancy services to advise you on whether the institution should be level 5 when it is already level 5 via Gazette notice of 2021. Governor, when you read this, does it make sense to you as a CEO? Did that officer give any explanation that you can relate? Because if the boss does not understand it, then it will be very difficult for the Senate to understand it.
We have details of the consultant OAG.
The gentleman standing is?
The Chief Officer for Health.
Okay, address yourself to this particular one. Procurement of consultancy services for Busia County Referral Hospital.
Yes, thank you, sir. That one was specifically for making it level 5 and especially on operationalization of the ICU. Initially, it was actually registered as level 5, but it was scaled down, and it is now at level 4 because certain services were not there. So that is what the consultants was all about. So that was done, what is required, and the process was started. And Chair, we are hoping to have some money allocated in this supplementary so that we can now operationalize the ICU and then we get...
If I ask the ESCC to look into these files, you'll be comfortable?
Absolutely, sir.
Please, ESCC, take that up. Because on the surface of it, this looks like a scam.
Yes.
So go and explain that to the investigative body.
And Chair, I agree with you, it's only 4.9, 4.9, just below 5 million for Isimangi business because they are not subjected to procurement processes.
Why do you have an appetite for 4.9 million, Chief Officer?
4.9, is there...
Because the next matter is also 4.955 million.
4.9.
Consultancy.
An affinity to 4.9.
What do you have to say about irregular procurement of consultancy services on ICU at Busia County Referral Hospital?
Also 4.9.
Yes, Chair, thank you. That was, the figure allocated was 5 million. Though what was captured was 4.9. And that was what I was explaining.
Oh, that was a different query. That was query number 12. This is query number 13.
Chair.
Senator Abua.
Maybe, Chair, for the benefit of understanding.
Senator Abua.
I want to understand from the governor now, actually. When a facility is being upgraded from one level to the other, what do you need consultant services for? Who is supposed to consult for what? I think there is a requirement for a facility to move from one level to another. It's about service provision. So if you are providing better services at this level, and then some experts in the ministry might realize, no, this cannot be level 2 now, this can be upgraded to level 3. Why do you need a consultant to
to advise you on moving from one level of hospital to another?
On 5 billion.
Chair, maybe what I need to explain a bit before I allow the chief officer to proceed. When we came in, we found that there was just an arbitrary registration in the county here saying that this is now facility level 4, this is level 5. It was just done arbitrarily. But we all know that there's a method and process which you have to go for that classification, and it's not even done by the county. I think there's a national body that goes through that process. But when we had come in, that's what we found, and we were now having problems with affiliation, even with the donors and even with the national institutions, because we had not been captured anywhere in the records. Some were level 3, some were just health centers, but in our records they were showing that. But anytime we needed some collaborative efforts in terms of the level of facilities, that data was not being captured. So that's why we
So,
say,
Governor, then you go to a consultant to come and advise you on the level of your
Chair,
hospital.
maybe I can allow the chief officer.
But I thought you put it right. There is a way of classifying facilities.
But Chair,
I see no role of a consultant.
let us allow through the chair, allow the chief officer maybe just to explain what else they were trying to capture beyond that. Because I had him talking about ICU, I don't know what. I think
Actually,
there was something.
the audit queries that there were no terms of reference.
Chair,
so we cannot allow him to give us orally a term of reference.
Chair, coincidentally,
if the Auditor General did not get the...
coincidentally, Chair, on query number 12 and 13, they are correlated. Because it's about this advice on the Busia County Referral Hospital. And if you look at them, they are 4.9 each, 4.9 each. So it was segregated to beat the law. Because the bottom line is consultancy. So it's almost 4.9, I think that's around 9-10 million. So they separated. They were, Governor, it looks like the advisory were based on the same issue, but they were segregated into two to beat the procurement process. So why were you being advised on the advice to advise?
Because the quorum bell is ringing, and Governor, as a former member of parliament, you know what that means. We might not be able to go much further, but these two related issues, these consultancies, is a smoking gun. And Governor, it should concern you that such matters are being reported about your entity, especially during your time in office. So please go back and take action, take administrative action. It does not mean firing. Administrative action does not mean firing. It could be capacity building, it could be warning, it could be reprimand. But I think these two consultancies, EACC, please add it to your index, because you are the ones with the capacity now to investigate and to let us know whether money was well spent. Honorable members, we'll come to closing remarks, if any. And Governor, I will give you an opportunity to make your closing remarks. I remembered you had not welcomed us to Busia. I don't know whether you are still in the mood to welcome us, or you are in the mood for us to leave.
Chair, thank you so much. I think, as you said, when we started, I didn't get that opportunity. But yesterday, those we were with, both the leadership and those we interacted with later, we were able to welcome you. But especially now for PAC, I think this is a historical moment, as somebody said. It will be registered for posterity that we had a meeting here in Busia to look into how best, the county government, holding the county government to account on behalf of the people of Busia and the people of Kenya, where the Senate plays its oversight role. So we'll just have to say we take it in a stride. We are in a very good mood because we have taken quite, the 2 hours have gone too fast. I thought it would be a long day, and as Chair, you had observed, I was a bit tired. But I think now I'm rejuvenated because it has highlighted quite a number of issues that some we have been talking about. I think the officers have now seen the importance of some of the issues that we have been saying. We have had the opportunity for the members of the PAC, of the Assembly, to also be able to see how best, to hold us to account, the way you have just said. Some things don't need to go all the way to the Senate. We should be dealing with policy issues, how to strengthen institutions. Those basic primary role oversight can be done by the county assembly, and I think that has come out very clearly. So where we have been pointed out by the Senate, as I have said, we take it in a stride that that's the oversight role, and we need to go back and look into what to do. I think also my people have seen the importance of documents, which is also something I've been having issues with. And Chair, I think maybe just because some of the documents, again, as usual, were submitted late, because I've already written to some of these officers on some of these issues we are raising. If you read through, you'll find that the issue was the governor should take some action on the officer or officers. The other issue, Chair, that has come out very clearly, I think in our organogram, either because of the way it has taken long to have the staff establishment, which I can see was also an issue here, it brought out that glaring issue, and it's up to us again to take that administrative measures to make sure we put that in place. And yeah, that's all I can say. Otherwise, I hope outside this, you are going to have opportunity to really see the human, what can I say, the social side of the Senate. Some people may think here that now, because of the questions they were being asked, they will be saying, hii watu ni ngumu sana. But I hope they are also going to have opportunity to see the human side. I mean the social side as we interact. I'm not trying to say we are not human. So I'm looking forward. I hope we'll have opportunity with some of my officers here and there to have some of those interactions so that they can be that emphasis. Otherwise, karibuni sana, Sample Busia. We are also ready to take you across to Uganda. As we said, we are forming the larger Busia metropolis. Wambua, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to a lot of issues there.
And my brother Mofa. Be abducted.
Hapana, itakuwa mzuri. Otherwise, thank you so much and karibuni.
You also forgot to assure us of our safety.
Chair, I think that has been, Busia is a very safe place and we don't lock up anybody. Sometimes there are a lot of allegations, but as you said, it's part of our job hazards. Sometimes we just need to refocus on what is the real job that we need to do. All those other things is just part of, the process of working, because you know very well I could have had quite also a bit of issues to raise, but as I said, as we interact, maybe we'll be able to raise as part of strengthening devolution and part of strengthening the relationship between the Senate and devolved units. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. I will not say much more, but we shall share the list of projects that we'll be visiting on Thursday.